Hello everyone, my name is Rurikhan and I'm here with TGN.TV to bring you another World of Warcraft video. Now I've actually made a poll quite recently on my website, and it turns out that what most people are really interested in is tanking videos, from what I could tell. I mean, tanking and healing at least. Not all that many people seemed interested in DPS videos anyway. So after giving it some thought and consideration, I thought, well, I kind of owe it to the community to give them whatever they want to see. So I decided to go on ahead and respec my paladin back into protection. I upgraded some of his gear because his gear was like really bad. I was just really slacking about with his gear. So I decided to properly gem it, properly enchant it, at least most of it anyways. It's not like super duper enchanted because most of it is heroic gear anyway. But anyways, after that I'm like, okay, so let's make another Protection Paladin video and get some content out for the community. And yeah, so I queued up for a dungeon and I went with Halls of Origination because it's a nice long dungeon. Gives you lots of content to see, considering that I haven't really been posting instance content for quite some time. I've been working on other videos with TGN.TV, as you guys might be aware if you've been checking out all the other TGN.TV channels. I've been posting videos all over the friggin' place, but like I've always say, I never really want to stop completely making World of Warcraft videos, because this is how I started and this is the kind of content that I also want to be putting out. I will be making all kinds of other videos, like for instance I made a video for All Odds, another for Forsaken World, another for Divine Souls. I'm covering lots and lots and lots of stuff, but I really want to get back to my roots every now and then, and I'm going to keep on putting out World of Warcraft videos. So I've noticed there have been a few complaints lately that there haven't really been all that many videos apparently. To be completely honest, I haven't really been checking up on the channel all that often because of all the stuff that I've been doing. But yeah, here's a nice little Halls of Origination for you guys. So as usual, at the start of this run, I told the rogue and the shaman their respective marks. I was using diamond for sap and circle for hex. I basically said this at the start of the instance. I like to use CC in this particular instance because this Shadow Lancer and the Swift Stalker, they pack quite a punch, so it just makes everything easier if you just blast some CC in it. And trust me, your healer will thank you for it in the end, because it makes everything go a lot more smoother, if you ask me at least anyways. As the rotation I'm using is the standard rotation, which is Crusader Strike, Hammer of the Righteous, all that stuff. Basically I just pull the mobs away from the CC targets and then just blast away with all my skills. Crusader Strike, Hammer of the Righteous, I even use Holy Wrath every now and then, Avenger Shield, and Shield of the Righteous every now and then, depending on the situation. I might as well use Word of Glory instead of Shield of the Righteous, so just saying. You always want to get in the packs where you have the Fire Shapers, you always want to get those first, because those pack like the biggest punch of all the other mobs. And the second most threatening mob in these packs is usually the Swift Stalker, and the third most threatening one is the Dark Caster. The Dark Caster makes a nasty AoE, so does the Fire Shaper, that's why they're so dangerous, and the Swift Stalker makes a channeled strike that he does that also packs quite a punch, so I always try to take those out first. And the Rune Casters are just meh, whatever. They do a little healing circle on the floor, but considering the current bonuses to what's it called, Luck of the Draw, it doesn't really matter all that much if you ask me. So yeah, we kill these off, and as I was starting up this dungeon, I was saying, well, a lot of people are doing dungeon runs every now and then, so let's try and give it at least whenever possible, let's try and do achievements. So I decided that for this boss I was going to try and do the achievement of I Hate That Song. And what I did was I said I'm going to go on the left with the healer, and I'll pick up the snakes and the healer will push the lever, and the rogue and the death knight will go on the right side, where the death knight will pick up the snakes and the rogue will press the lever, and the shaman will stay up top and interrupt as soon as the levers are pushed. So whenever you get a group together for this instance, there's almost always in the group composition someone that can tank. Like even a boomkin can tank these snakes for a little while. A druid can tank these snakes for a little while as a bear druid, even if he's spec'd something differently. A Death Knight can definitely tank them. A Warrior can tank them. Basically, there's a lot of classes that can tank these snakes. So you can just basically organize them. And when you're done with your side, picking up your snakes, you run over to the other side, pick up the other guy's snakes, and then run to the boss, which will probably be near the stairs, because if it's been properly interrupted, there we go. It's been properly interrupted, and yeah. That's basically it for this achievement. I mean, I've organized the group in this fashion, and everybody pretty much executed it flawlessly. Even though we were in a bit of danger of dying in here for a couple of seconds, I still have my Holy Radiance that I pop all the friggin' time. Whenever I see like a dangerous situation, I will go into Holy Radiance. Sometimes I will pop Wings as well to increase the healing, and other times I might also pop Divine Guardian, because I just have all these amazing cooldowns as a protection paladin that is just completely ridiculous, the stuff that you can do. You can also, like, every now and then, if required, use Word of Glory on one of your party members. There's just lots of stuff that you can do, and as you can see here, once again, I'm picking up the snakes, grab those snakes as fast as possible, run over to the other side, and steal away the snakes from the other tank, who is not actually a tank, is probably just a DPSer who is also tanking. And yeah, pick up those snakes and just run upstairs and go get the boss. Not really all that much else to this achievement here. You just pick up those snakes, go up to the boss, nuke the snakes, nuke the boss. If, by the way, if you're a DPSer in this fight, make sure that you really kill those snakes, like do your AoEs and stuff and really nuke them down, because trust me, it's really useful to kill off those snakes. They might seem pretty harmless, but altogether they pack quite a punch. But to me it's actually good, because it just boosts my vengeance buff, which just makes me hit the boss a lot harder, and I love hitting bosses hard in the face with my shield. Yeah! And like I said, the main achievement here was to not keep the boss singing for more than 15 seconds, because, unlike myself, he can't sing for crap. But I do. And there it is. I hate that song. Achievement. Done. Now I actually skipped quite a few parts in this instance, like the dead parts that you're just walking around, because it is a fairly large instance. And I decided, well, since the instance is so large, I might as well cut a thing or two here and there, just to make sure that people don't get bored of watching it. Once again, marking the trash, like I said, sapping on the Shadow Lancer, hexing on the Swift Stalker, and nuking everything else that's left. And if you actually notice there, I actually did a little LOS there, I believe. But I'm going to show you again, because a couple of people had some questions about how they could pull casters and stuff. This is what you do. You LOS them. You pull them to the corner. In this case, I actually silenced him before pulling, because I had the shield. But if I didn't have the shield, I could have just do something that would break the CC, and then run over to this corner and line of sight him and force him to come to me. And that's how you do line of sight pulls, just in case you guys are wondering, so I hope this will help you in that aspect as well. Now there, Mr. Swift Stalker, how are you feeling this day? There's a rogue stabbing you in the ass. I'm sorry, did you die? Sorry about that. Yeah, stuff happens. So again, skipping a little bit of walking around. As usual, the sap on the diamond and the hex on the circle, and picking up the fire shaper and the rune caster. But I do believe that the shaman actually made a mistake here and got his wolves on his own CC or something. I don't know, he did something completely weird and off the bat, and yeah. By the way, at the point that I was actually doing this instance, I hadn't tanked in my paladin for like months by now. So yeah, just saying. And there it is. The wolf is attacking that target. I'm like, well, I kind of got aggro, so let's just do something about it. So I grabbed Holy Radiance because there was a lot of people taking damage. Divine Guardian. I popped my Lay on Hands because I was about to die. And at this point, I'm seriously considering going into Shield Wall, but instead I'm going to run over here, stun this guy because he's the one that's making all the damage, nuke the Runecaster, and now get back on him, interrupt that charge shot, because you can interrupt the charge shot, and that's the shot that I told you that makes a whole bunch of damage, so you might want to interrupt that. And now the Shaman is trying to CC it again, but just forget about it, mate, now it's dead. and go on to the Dark Shadowcaster right after it. Try to silence it off just to make sure that it doesn't get any of those nasty spells off, to catch your healer off guard. Also, this healer hadn't healed since the Burning Crusade, he told me at some point. So yeah, that's why maybe sometimes you're watching him panic a little bit, and his healing might not be the best at certain panic points. But yeah, now we're also going to be trying to do faster than the speed of light. And I'm going to explain them how they can do this. And the basic way to do this is to try and avoid as much trogs as possible. And yeah, just avoid as much trog as possible and nuke down the water elemental as fast, because the water elemental is the one that will CC your party members, so it might take a little bit to go down if he CCs like a DPS, or if he CCs the healer, someone can die. So you want to make sure and save like your heroism and stuff like that for the water boss. So we're going straight in, and as you can see, avoiding the trogs as much as possible. I'm going to avoid those trogs upstairs by running to the right side and completely avoiding them. And these seconds that you take to take down these trogs, they count in the end. Trust me, they really do. And now we're going to be taking on the stone guy. This guy is actually pretty simple. There's not much strategy to it, just nuke him down as fast as possible. At some points he will pin people down, and when he does that, those people will need more healing. Unless they're like, say, a human. If you're a human, you can get out of it by using your racial ability or something like that. So yeah. Kill the Earth Warden. If you're the tank while you're trying to do this achievement, make sure that you start moving away before the boss actually dies. Again, all the little seconds count, trust me. Especially we don't have super duper. Well, we have some really good DPS on that Death Knight who's pushing 14k. The Shaman is pushing 10k, so not really all that awesome. And in this particular pack, I see that they're too close to the bottom, and trying to dodge them is just going to cause problems. So instead of trying to dodge them, I just pulled them and tanked them and whatever, left a few of them behind, because you just got to really rush it in. And now you get here and you ask for hero. I asked for hero, but I didn't really notice the hero going up, so at some points I'm like, hero, hero, hero. Yeah, you idiot, because heroism is already up, so whatever. And now what you want to do is you want to nuke this boss as hard as possible, and make sure that whoever is bubble bound, that you free them. You want to make sure to free those bubble bound people, because you need as much DPS as possible to get this down ASAP. And as you can see here, we actually have the druid was bubbled for a little second there, and like I said, that's a real danger, because if someone dies, you can't get the achievement. It's almost impossible to get it after someone dies. And now we're just about done here, so I'm gonna run downstairs, and I actually popped my nitro boosts. And then I was like, yeah, but nobody else has nitro boosts, so they're probably gonna aggro those trogs, so I might as well just be ready for that. And just like I predicted, they aggroed the trogs. I popped the consecration there to make sure to pick them up, and they've aggroed something else, or maybe it was me, I don't know, someone aggroed these. And so I'm just AoEing them down as fast as possible. And as you can see, they were about to get killed, so I'm like, okay, screw that, you guys take care of that. I'm running out of here, because we need to get these mobs down super fast. At this point, we had like 2 minutes, so it's still quite doable. We just have to try and avoid a couple more trogs, but I believe that someone pulls these, or maybe I'm wrong, maybe I don't remember correctly. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that someone's gonna pull those. Yep, there was someone running in the middle of the stairs. Not sure if you noticed that, but that person's gonna be pulling that. So I engaged the boss. I wasn't even looking at it at the time, and I'm like, oh snap, trog pillagers, get those. Get that consecration down, pop some holy wrath in their face, hammer of the righteous, judgments to keep my mana up and all that stuff. And yeah, Crusader Strike. I'm gonna heal myself for a little bit there as well. And nuke those trogs down, and make sure to kill that warden as fast as possible, because like I said, we're running really short in time here. And yeah, 1 minute 20 seconds. This is actually pretty good, but we actually had one more complication there near the end. So we're running through, and as you can see, we can avoid the ones in the middle. Pretty simple. And I'm like, we're not going to be able to avoid those in that side. Well, actually we could avoid them, but I believe that this druid went in a little bit too fast. Yep, he aggroed them, and I'm like, okay, just shield them and hammer of the righteous while you're going by, like boosh. There we go, hammer of the righteous, good old consecration, and just keep on running, don't stop, keep on trucking. And now coming up on the fire guy, and this guy is usually also a little pain in the ass because a lot of people think that they can just stand in the inferno and then they die. And at this point I'm even like, oh, I'm gonna give Divine Guardian to everyone, I'm gonna pop my Holy Radiance, all that stuff, and then I'm running away from the AoE to make sure that I don't get it. But the rogue there gets smacked across the face by this boss's targeted spell, because you have to stay in constant motion when you're at this boss. He actually got a bell res there, and at this point I'm like, we're probably not gonna do it, because you used to have like 20 seconds left before you killed him off, but not anymore. So right now you can just get over here and boosh, faster than the speed of light. Another achievement done. And on this boss we actually had quite an amusing thing happen, and I really, while I was tanking it, I'm like, oh my god, really? So yeah, I start tanking pretty standard stuff as usual, just tanking the boss, not really doing all that much else. Tank the boss, getting some threat, and I'm like, yeah, this is just the tank and spank boss and dodge the purple poo, how hard can it be? But it seems that a lot of people are not all that used to this boss actually making damage, but he actually does. He actually packs quite a punch with those purple things in the ground. And I'm like, yeah, we totally got this. I mean, they've got room in the back. I'm pretty sure they're not going to be standing in poo. So yeah, we totally got this. And now this boss actually has a softened rage, which I'm all for. I mean, I really loved it when I saw that, when I saw what was happening, which is basically the boss starts stacking up a debuff on you that reduces your maximum health. And I'm like, holy crap, that's awesome. Because he didn't used to do that. At least I don't think he used to do that. I'm pretty sure he didn't used to do that. But that's good, because like for instance, if you notice, when I engaged the boss, I had 180k. At the moment I have 140k life, maximum life. I can't have more. So basically he's reducing your maximum life all the friggin' time. And as you can see, people standing in poo, standing in poo, standing in poo, standing in poo, and everybody dies. And I'm like, lol. I'm watching this and I'm like, lol, seriously guys, come on. It's not that hard. And the healer's like, cursing left and right. And I'm just like, yep, we got this, no problem. And then I tell people, you know, you guys can actually like run back in. And yeah, sure, just take your time. We'll be here killing the boss. No biggie, no biggie. Just take your time, guys. Just whatever, or just lay there dead. We'll eventually kill it. Don't you worry about that. So at this point, I've like lost 80,000 hit points of my maximum health, and it's beginning to get really hard on the healer to stay alive, because it also seems like these purple things start making more damage. At least it seems like it. Like I'm just gliding sometimes through one, and I almost die. So at this point, I'm at 90k, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do something completely off the book here, which is basically I'm gonna pop my bubble, because I'm pretty sure that popping bubble is going to reset the stacks. So I'm at 72k, and I'm like popping all my cooldowns, and I'm like, well, this is kind of just pointless. I'm gonna have to reset these stacks at some point, or I'm going to die, because people are not gonna get here in time. And I was just like, okay, screw this. Boom, bubble. Cancelled the bubble immediately to get aggro back on the boss, and I got my whole life back. But the problem is the druid died because he stood in poo for a little bit too long. At this point I'm like, no, don't worry about it, because I noticed that people are coming back in. So I'm just like, okay, save those Word of Glories. Charge up for Word of Glories and heal yourself through Word of Glories. Word of Glory, Word of Glory, just keep that Word of Glory going. And now I'm popping this because I see that people are in the room and they're taking damage from the purple stuff. So I popped Divine Guardian to make sure that they didn't die and they actually arrived in one piece at the boss. And they arrived at the boss, started nuking him down, and I'm just like, Word of Glory on myself, Word of Glory. Yeah, I'm a paladin, deal with it. Win! Just like Charlie Sheen. Winning! Are you bipolar, good sir? No, I'm bi. Winning, I win here, I win there. Now what? So yeah, that just never gets old, I'm sorry. So after that we went for the bone boss, because like I've mentioned in a previous video, I can't really control which bosses the party does when I'm a healer, but I do have lots of influence on what the party does when I'm a tank. So I just said, hey, you know what, we're gonna do all the bosses because I'm doing a video, so deal with it. And so we're trucking on now to the what's it called? I don't even know what his name is, but it's the skeleton boss in the instance. And there's an achievement there as well, which I've already done. And I believe that someone actually gets that achievement. But that achievement is just so friggin' pointless that I didn't even like made a special annotation like I made for the other ones. Because in my opinion, the achievement, it's the achievement that's called the straw that broke the camel's back. The only thing you have to do is stand on a camel and dodge poo. Is it really that hard? I don't really think so. So I didn't even make a guide for that particular achievement because it's basically just whenever dirt starts moving on the floor, move away from it. If there's a whirlwind close to you, move away from it. If there's anything that looks bad close to you, move away from it. And the achievement is straightforward. It's what do you call these? It's a personal achievement. So like you don't, not everyone in your whole party has to do it. Only you. So this if you can't do the straw that broke the camel's back, I mean seriously, I don't know, there's something wrong with you because it's just way too easy. But anyways, I'll show you and I'll tell you just I don't know, I'll just show you what I've done because I stay in the camel during the whole fight. So if I needed the achievement, I would have gotten it. But I already have all the achievements on my paladin, as you guys know, so whatever. So killing off these tormentors here. Also, the reason why I'm showing you every single trash pack is because I've actually asked you guys a couple of videos back if you wanted me to just give you boss fights, and a lot of people replied and said no. We want to see like the whole instance, every pull, how do you use CC, how do you don't use CC. So that's why I show all the trash. So please don't crucify me if the video looks a little big, but yeah, that's the way that I do the trash, and I've asked you guys what you guys would like to see, and most of you said no, we want to see the whole thing. So that's why I left the trash there. Even though I am cutting off the parts where I'm moving around because there's just no point to showing you my character running from point A to point B because, I mean, seriously. So yeah, finishing off this trash here, I'm actually running really low on mana because I'm spending mana like a maniac and not judging enough. Should be judging a lot more to get some more mana back. And this guy says camels are so awesome. I beg to differ. Camels are not all that awesome in my opinion. So yeah, but dude, whatever floats your boat. And here we are at what's his face? Earth Rager Ptah. Earth Rager Ptah. Okay, so that was his name. Anyways, it's the guy that looks like the first boss in ICC, except he has a fire-looking theme instead of an ice-looking theme. He still looks pretty damn awesome in my opinion. But anyways, you just want to basically nuke him down. And as you can see, I'm on my camel. And the whole objective of the achievement is to stay on top of your camel the whole fight. So, yeah, just stay on top of your camel. No biggie there. As you can see, nothing really coming beneath me. I mean, like, there's no poo on the floor, which is why I don't really have to move all that much. Like, for instance, that poo over there behind the boss, that's what you want to get away from, because that makes that spike. And that spike, well, it's like getting an enema with a huge bone. And, yeah, I guess you guys can get the picture by now. If you can't get the picture, just email Big C. I'm pretty sure he can explain you how an enema with a big bone works. Just saying. Now trying to pick up basically every single piece of trash here, but what happens is when you get to this particular phase in this boss, if you're a DPSer, what you should do is stack up on top of the tank so that the tank doesn't have to move all the way there. And since I was trying to show people the achievement, I couldn't really go all that much closer because I would risk hitting the whirlwind thing and losing my camel, so whatever. Like I said, those are two things that you need to stay away from as well. That little swirly thing on the floor and the whirlwind thing on the over there to your left. So you need to steer clear of those as well, besides the huge impaling bone spikes. And yeah, other than that, just nuke the boss, stay on top of your camel, don't panic. Pretty simple stuff. Someone actually asked me at some point to say pretty simple stuff more often. But I really don't like saying it all that much, so do not kill me for it. But yeah, now we're gonna be basically finishing off this boss and going upstairs through the elevator and kick the ass of the 4 bosses that you get upstairs. So yeah, just kill good old Earth Rager Ptah. Time to die, good sir. Yeah, Good night, sweetheart. Well, it's time to go. Do 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 do. Good night, sweetheart. Well, oh well. Anyways, now we're at. I believe her name is Izish, Izish something, Easy Set. I don't know. It's this the chick-looking boss upstairs. So what you got to do for this particular trash is first you want to kill those star shards because they're annoying as hell. After the star shards, kill the flux the flux animator, and after that, kill the spatial anomaly. It's pretty simple trash, no biggie. You can just AoE everything down at this point. Not even just because luck of the draw. It's just because that at this point you should have at least like I don't know, heroic gear, something. I don't know. Even if you don't have heroic gear. The only thing that you can use to CC here is either Warlock or a Shaman, so I guess since I have a Shaman, I could probably use him to bind an Elemental or something, because these are Elementals. At least some of them are Elementals, so yeah, you can bind a couple of them. And yeah, basically nuking down this trash, no biggie. And for this particular boss, there's a couple of strategies that you can use. What she does is at certain points during the fight she's going to split, and as you can see there, the healer was actually slacking because he was typing and he almost let me die, but good old Word of Glory saves the day. Like I was saying, for this particular boss, what you want to be doing is when she splits, you get 3 smaller bosses and you have to kill one of them, and the boss that you kill will affect the powers of this boss. So the boss has I don't know, about 4 special powers plus this fiery thing on the floor, so maybe count that 5. So there's the fire thing on the floor that you see there. It's like a laser beam that puts fire wherever it ends. Then there's there's this thing that she did right here, which is Veil of the Sky, which is a shield, which basically she shields herself, and whoa, Lua error in your face! So she shields herself every now and then there's the supernova, which does basically that. And since I'm an idiot, I actually let myself get hit by supernova once, and I'm like, I don't believe this. But anyways, there's the fire, there's the supernova, there's the astral rain, which is basically an AoE that the boss does, there's the Veil of Sky, which is a shield, and there's the summon celestial familiar thing, which is basically this thing that summons a celestial familiar. So whenever I'm doing this boss, I find that one of the most annoying things to having to deal with is the celestial familiar. And so basically I usually take out that power first. She will only let you remove 3 powers out of her. One of them is the Celestial Familiar, the other one is the Shield, and the other one is the Astral Rain, which is an AoE DPS. So as you can see here, she splits up. I'm going to pick up those 3, and I marked a skull in the Celestial Call. So the Celestial Call is what summons the Celestial little thing. So once I kill this, she can't summon Celestial things anymore. That Celestial add whatever annoying thing, whatever. And yeah, so basically at this point the fight is just rinse and repeat. Avoid the laser, turn away during the supernova, and other than that, just keep nuking the boss. Now the other 2 powers that you can remove really depend on your group composition and your group capability. So let's say if I have a good healer and I don't know, whatever. If I just have a good healer, I'll take out Veil of the Sky, because, well, basically it's going to remove her shield, so we will DPS her down faster. If, however, you notice that the healer is struggling a little bit, instead of taking out Veil of the Sky, you take out the Astral thing, Astral Rain, whatever. As you can see, the Astral Rain. So once you take out the Astral Rain, which is what I chose to take out here because at certain points I noticed that people were really low on health, you take out the Astral Rain, she can no longer do her AoE thing. And yeah, that makes it a lot easier to heal. If instead of taking the Astral Rain you would take Veil of the Sky, she could no longer shield herself, but Astral Rain would be doing a lot more damage. And yeah, whatever. She would die faster, but she would make more damage. So I don't know. Usually if I would come with a guild, I would kill the Celestial and then the Veil of Sky. But since this is a POG and I'm just going to go with the safest route possible. Safest route possible is basically taking out the Celestial Call and then the Astral Rain, because it just reduces every single damage. Every single damage ability that she gets. And yeah, that's the way I chose to do it. So now we're at the boss that has the portals and does the summons the sentinels or sentries or whatever. And for this particular trash, you can just AoE it down, no problem, easy as a snap, doesn't really matter. You AoE down the trash, and yeah, just make sure that they don't stand in their void zones like they are right now. I'm actually looking at it and I couldn't tell because of the green stuff. Now that the green stuff is over, as you can see, I'm moving it away from the void zone because that void zone actually heals them. So yeah, you want to keep them away from that stuff. And after moving that away, grab the Void Lord and nuke him down. Pretty easy, no problems. I actually have the glyph that makes my Holy Wraths stun elemental, so that's always good whenever I pop Holy Wrath and these guys are like, oh, stunned, I can't see with the shine of your awesomeness in my face! And I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, I can't hear over the sound of how awesome I am! It's just the way things go, my friend, sorry. So for this particular boss, I always try and have the DPSers pull, because this boss does not have an aggro table. This is Sitesh, by the way. So since he doesn't have an aggro table, if your DPS pulls instead of you, they basically get more DPS at time. Because if you're the one pulling, they still have the time that they're moving from wherever they were standing up to the boss. And that's lost time. If they pull themselves, they're already at the boss nuking away. The only thing you really got to do at this boss is nuke the portals. And if you're the tank, you got to keep aggro on the Void Sentinels. Which is pretty easy, to be completely honest, even though I lost aggro sometimes in here because I was basically slacking, nuking the boss, not really making damage on the sentinels, whatever. And in fact, they actually nerfed this boss because he used to make portals a lot more frequently. Trust me, I would be running from portal to portal to portal to portal. The first time I was in this boss, we ended up with like 20 Void Sentinels. It was ridiculous. I was lucky that I was on my warrior, so that I could heroically charge, intervene, do all kinds of crazy tricks to stay alive, because if I was trying to tank 20 Void Sentinels with the gear I was having, I still had greens. They would have nuked me down in seconds. So yeah, at this particular point in time, I look at this boss and I'm like, oh my god, really, Liz? Really? So friggin' nerfed. I mean, nerf more, please. So, whatever. And again, nuking down the Chaos Portals. Also, if you are a DPS during this fight, you might want to look around the room, because at certain points, there will be appearing these green crystals with a purple glow. They look kind of freaky, but basically you walk through them and you get a damage bonus. So yeah, if you're a DPSer, you might want to get that. Apart from that, just like I said, nuking the Void Sentinels, not really carrying all that much, just nuking away. Not really nuking, just keeping aggro, because what I am actually nuking is trying to nuke the boss. Everybody is nuking the boss. There's no portal coming out. I mean, come on, really? 3 Void Sentinels? That's all he spawned? 3 Void Sentinels? This is supposed to be challenging? Really? Okay, I don't know. I rest my case. Anyways, and now we're going to this little boss here, which is Amanubadablablabla. I don't know these names. I mean, these are like terrorist names. Sorry. So, grabbing these ads here really fast. And the Blood Petal Sprouts, they actually just reset aggro every now and then, so you might not really pay all that much attention to them. It's really a DPSer's job to kill them, and if you have a taunt, sure, you can taunt them off, but it's mostly DPSer's job to take those down. And these spores here, I actually like these spores quite a bit. I was trying to keep it alive and use it on the next pull, but someone popped it. And since they popped the spore, basically what you gotta do is move out of the poo, obviously, and keep your enemies inside of the poo, because if they stay inside of the poo, they take damage from the poo as well. And I'm tired of saying poo. Seriously. What is this? 3rd grade? Kevin Butler reference. Okay, anyways, yeah, basically nuking down the trash once again. I always take out the Living Vine first, because it does this healing thing, obviously, and you want to kill it as fast as possible. After that, you want to try and kill the Life Warder Nymph. But really, whatever. Just nuke down the Living Vine. Living Vine is going to drop the Spore. The Spore is going to help you make damage if you kill it and keep everything else on top of the Spore. So yeah, nuking the Nymph now. Basically trying to grab as much as I can, but those Blood Petal Sprouts keep resetting aggro like I've mentioned. And getting back aggro on the Nymph. Make sure to interrupt that Tranquility. Someone already did a good job, Mr. Death Knight. Good sir! You deserve a commendation for your efforts in interrupting. Thank you very much. And as you can see there with the poo on the floor and boom, everything dead. Now on this particular boss there's only one thing you gotta do and one thing only, and that thing is nuke the podlings, the pods that he makes. He makes these seedling pods, whatever he calls them, nuke them down. But since these guys didn't really have all that much experience in this boss, they told me, and I'm like, okay, so I'll try to help out a little bit as well, as much as I can. So as you can see there, I'm moving myself to the seedling pods to try and get those as much as possible. And yeah, apart from killing the pods, there really isn't all that much else to this boss. Oh yeah, there's a couple of pods now that insta-spawn flowers. I'm not sure if that's intended by Blizzard or not, but whenever it spawns on the particular location that blood petal blossom popped, they can't be killed in time. They always pop, always, always, always. I've never once seen it pop in that particular location and that it could be interrupted. But this is quite recent, like since either 4.06 or 4.1b or whatever, I don't know, but I think it's since 4.06 there's a couple of pods that you can't break in time before they transform into flowers. Don't know exactly why, but it's just the case. Whatever. So at this particular point in time, the boss is about to die, obviously, because everybody is buffed with 15% more damage, 15% more healing, and 15% more life. Seriously, can you tell me how ridiculous this is? I mean, look at that. That Death Knight is pushing friggin' 16k DPS. That's raid damage, you know what I'm saying? That's raid quality damage in a 5-man. That's the kind of damage that people make when they have Flask, Food Buff, buffs from all the other classes. It's ridiculous that you're doing that kind of damage in a 5-man, in my opinion, but yeah, whatever. Keep buffing Luck of the Draw, Blizzard, until, whatever, my little sister that doesn't exist can run these dungeons. Just saying. Just saying. And now we're going to be killing off the Raj trash. This trash is pretty annoying because they keep dispersing, and then disperse some more, and you get sun-touched sprites, sun-touched spritelings, sun-touched sons of spritelings and sprite. Why can't we just get friggin' 7-Up? Seriously, just give me a goddamn 7-Up. I'm tired of Sprite, okay? Sorry about that. Oh, maybe not everyone got that. But yeah, Sprite is like a beverage. I'm not sure if it's like that all over Europe. And then there's another beverage that's exactly the same thing, but it's called 7-Up. I don't know, just saying. Yeah, so we're killing Spritelings, apparently. Blizzard is sponsored by 7-Up, so they don't want no Spritelings. They want you to kill the Sprite. Kill the Sprite! They're brainwashing you into drinking 7-Up, I'm telling you. So 7-Up, where's my $2,000 for all this advertisement? And the same goes for Sprite as well. So yeah, just saying. Yeah, now we're actually going to try and do Son of a, or Son of a. It's basically the achievement name. And yeah, you have to kill the boss before he completes a recharge phase. And what you have to do to achieve that is basically just interrupt every single cast he makes. Because it will keep him without going into recharge for a lot longer, and tank him here in the corner where I've tanked him now. And why is that? Because if you tank him in the corner, when he goes into recharge, he still has to move all the way to the middle before actually starting the recharge. And this basically gives you a potential for more DPS uptime while he's running from the corner to the middle. And at that particular point is when you want to have all the stuff like, let's say, heroism or whatever, all the crazy stuff that you have keeping. Like if you're a warrior, you want to pop recklessness, or the other thing that you have now that I don't remember the name. It's not Inner Rage, it's the other one. Deadly Calm. Yeah, you want to pop Deadly Calm to have your infinite rage and just nuke the boss like a madman. And I was wondering what in the hell hit me in that particular whirlwind, because I charged in through the middle and I still got hit, so that was ridiculous. So in here I popped Wings, pop Holy Radiance to give the healer some slack so that he could DPS. But it turns out that our Death Knight died. And the Death Knight, as you can see in the meters, is top damage. And you can't really do this achievement without your top DPSer. So you have failed, good sir, and Superman is very disappointed. Not sure if you guys got the Superman reference, because Superman usually recharges his powers in the sun. Not sure if that was a little bit too nerdy or too geeky. But anyways, we failed this achievement, but I gave you a pretty good idea of how you can do it. So I hope you guys try it out for yourselves and let me know how it went. Please leave me a comment, press like or dislike if you liked this video or didn't like this video. And remember to go to tgn.tv for all your video game videos and news.tgn.tv for all your video gaming news. Hope you guys enjoyed this, and I will see you guys on the next one.